Cryforth, once home to the most wondrous kingdom the world had ever known, blasted to nothing in just a fortnight. It is here that the fiends of hell walk among us. It is here where all things die. Welcome to Cryforth. Demon invaders roam the landscape and have conquered all. The world is a ravaged and wrathful wasteland, where the old world lies buried beneath the blood and sand with its gods and its secrets. Water is fought over with blood and steel. Compatible with the 5th edition of the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, this book contains all new character creation options, including all of the familiar classes with new aspects befitting the ravaged wastelands of Cryforth, along with new backgrounds, subclasses, spells, feats, and so much more. New races will allow you to play as the Cursed Ash Elves, the Forsaken Humans, the Primordial Incarnate, the Proud Orcs, the Reptilian Suri, or the Infernal-Blooded Tieflings. New game mechanics such as blood, grit, and effort give your games an intense focus on lethality and survival. Numerous roll tables full of ideas to help bring your games to life. Featuring incredible thematic art by Brandish Gilhelm of Bluehammer Games, as well as Lloyd Collins. The people of Cryforth are not heroes. In Cryforth, it is courage just to survive. Will you rise to face the tide of demons, or will you succumb to the hostile elements? Available now on DriveThruRPG.com.
Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and for checking out this particular video. And for my usual followers and subscribers, thank you as well for taking your time today to see what's going on. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, you may not know that I've become a part of a group called the Terramuffins, and this is something that sort of developed all on its own. It involves myself and 2 other women. We have Eris from Eris Savad Designs, as well as Kelly the Opera Geek. And basically, we just kind of get up to some crazy antics on Twitter with each other as well as our followers. If you're all on Twitter and you have an account, just use the hashtag Terramuffins and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyways, these 2 women have become very good friends of mine, and we have been enjoying each other's company and just chatting with each other on a daily basis. Now, because of the camaraderie that we've developed and the fun we've been having with other people, Capri Creations took it upon himself to create this really cool design, which I'm going to show you right over here. And this is the design that has sort of started this whole thing that's going to be happening. I'm going to explain in a minute. But he was kind enough to create this for us, and he gave us clearance to use it for whatever we'd like to. However, none of us felt comfortable using it as a for-profit, for ourselves type of thing. That's where the idea came to me, where maybe we could do something that's more fundraiser based with it. And to get started, I wanted to go with a cause that is something that is rather close to home. I'm coming upon the 3-year anniversary of losing a close friend to domestic violence. Because of that, I thought it'd be appropriate that we use this particular design and the merchandise that we're offering for it as a means to raise funds to donate to a local charity in my area that helps women who have experienced domestic violence and are trying to get out and trying to improve their lives. So what we thought we'd do is share this with everyone, and from now through the month of October, all sales, the profits are going to be donated to this particular charity. I'm going to have all the information down in the link below so that for those who want to do the research can do the research and decide if this is a facility you feel you'd like to back as well. I completely respect it and I understand that you want to know where your money is going. I do the same thing. But if you would like to help us with this particular cause and support the awareness for domestic violence, please check out all the links down below. It has everything you'll need in there. If you have any questions, you can always find us on Twitter. I'll have all of our ats in the description as well. You can also email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to watch this. I very much appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and please consider getting yourself some Terra Muffin merchandise, and it's all for a good cause. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hey internets, it's Jake, and this is Mini Terrain Domain. Welcome to our Monday night campaign, All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Epic Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We are so glad you are here with us tonight, everybody joining us on the YouTubes and the Twitches. Man, I'm excited for this. Just watching that opening title sequence, I'm ready to play. A couple real quick things. Up above V's head, you can see the domain dice counter. Looks like we still got 2 domain dice left over from the last session. If you are unsure about the domain dice, for every 500 bits on Twitch or $5 donation through Twitch or YouTube, that purchases us, the players, domain dice that we can use to re-roll a d20 roll, or we can force the DM to re-roll a d20 roll. Yeah, that's domain dice. One thing I wanted to plug real quick, brand new, only in the second week of existence, is the Mini Terrain Domain Patreon. By supporting Mini Terrain Domain on Patreon, you can become a direct supporter at various levels, and all of that funding goes right back into the channel. Everything is right there in the link that I just posted on both platforms. Take a look at it. The first blog post is free for everybody, whether you're a patron or not, and you can see exactly what I plan to do with fan supporting and things like that. So that's all I'm gonna say, because this is not my show. I'm gonna hand the reins over to the guy behind the Dungeon Master placard. Mike, take her away.
I was just looking for the guy, but I guess I'm the guy. That's all right. I didn't need to prep anything. It's fine. That's fine. We got this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to All That Glitters. I'm really excited to. It's been a little while. It's been a little while after almost murderizing a lot of you in, well, except for one, Megan. Almost murderizing you guys in a very fun Oath of the Frozen King game. I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna start off by saying, hey, who would like a point of inspiration? No, your hand went up, your character dies. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, you're going to make you do like those push-ups from what you were talking about before.
That's right. Whoever wants to give a recap about the first session and what happened gets a point of inspiration. So if any of you would like to give it a shot, and if not, I'll jump right into it. All right.
V, you raised your hand. You want
okay,
it?
Fine. Yawning Portal. We fought a troll. We fought a couple of those. Oh, why am I blanking on those names?
Sturges, thank
you. Fought a couple of those. Got them killed. Someone approached us by the name of Volo. Asked us to help find his friend who's gone missing. Tall redhead, rather good looking. Something Kiara would have noticed. And then we agreed to it, so we started walking through. We ended up in a rather seedy area of town, or city, I should say, where we came across some dead bodies and some captured people, noticed some tattoos of interesting note, possibly related to the Xanathar and the Zentarum. How am I doing so far? Yeah, okay. So from there, we side-skirted around that, came across a little shop where everything was purple, and there was a beholder in the window. Went in to check things out. Our lovely Tabaxi bought a feather.
A purple feather.
A purple feather, mind you. Well, I did say everything in the shop was purple. Purple feather. And then left the shop, started going to the Speared Dragon? Skewered Dragon. Hey, close. Kebabbed. And then we headed up towards a name we've been hearing a couple times, the Skewered Dragon. We get there, it's the Skewered Dragon or something, Dargon. It was misspelled. And as Bevyn opens the door, a taker is thrown at his head. How'd I do?
Pretty good. But you know what? I'll award you 1 point of inspiration. But I'm going to award you an extra point if you can tell me who this charming redhead's name is.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Well, let me see here. I did have that written down.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Oh no! Don't do that.
4,
5, 4, 3,
3.
2. Oh, I can't read my own handwriting. Damn it! I was writing too fast. All right, so
That's all right.
That's why I type.
The individual in question's name is Floon. Floon Blagmar.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, that's what I wrote.
I have that written, but I have it not next to his description. I'm
Well,
terrible at taking notes.
That's all right. But you get 1 point of inspiration at least, so that might help you out in case things go sideways. And well done. And if there are any questions from you guys at all before we begin. All right. Oh.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. Bevyn, you see the tankard sailing across. It's coming closer and closer. Almost everything seems like it's in slow motion. You can see this clay tankard spinning, not like a cool skull glass thing filled with delicious beer, but it is an empty clay mug, and it's spinning. But just as it seems like it's about to hit you, it actually sails past, lands into the corner with a crash, and for a moment you see the bartender behind the bar, and the two individuals that you had seen at the window were now sitting at the bar, staring not quite at you, at the lot of you, but not quite at you. They seem to be staring just a little bit down and to your left. The bartender, kind of looking at you just with a shocked expression, immediately turns beet red. And for just a moment, there is silence when suddenly one of the patrons that's sitting there stifles a smile and then a chuckle and then starts laughing. Oh, Jareth Crab, you are never going to kill that bloody rat. And suddenly you can see now a table bumps and a chair moves. And luckily, Anna, because of your extremely good perception, you see for just a brief moment a wharf rat the size of a dachshund go running off, scurrying off into a hole seemingly much too small for it, and then disappears. The bartender looks at you, Bevyn, and says, Milord, I am terribly sorry. But please come in. I didn't mean to. You see, Craddock, well, that's the rat. I've been trying to take him out for quite some time now. He's been at me larder. Please come on in, folks. Come on in. The whole lot of you. Come have a seat. It's a free pint on me, and some fish stew. It's the least I can do.
I'll be glad to have some of your stew, and I don't blame you for trying to kill that rat there. It's quite the rat. I'll head in and I'll sit down.
Rats, fish stew. I've got to say, I kind of like this place that you've chosen for us to come into. Just my kind of establishment.
You named it? You named the rat?
Oh, yes, I did. Named it Craddock.
But why?
Maybe it's like a mascot.
No. You see, Craddock the rat, is named after Hammond Craddock. Hammond Craddock, the guild master of the Vintners and Distillers Guild. And he's a booger. He's been a thorn in my side, like Craddock the rat. And well, it's been now a personal thing with me and that disgusting little ball of disease and fur.
So displaced aggression.
Something like that, I suppose. and he kind of comes you see kind of in the back there, he's got like a few pots, he's got a few bowls of this stew, and he kind of gives each one of you one of them. It's nice. It looks like a seafood chowder. You see, as you kind of like dip a spoon in, you see like kind of nice chunks of whitefish and mussels and clams and other assorted things, even small shrimp. As you kind of, and it's all in this like kind of really nice creamy broth. Yeah, and it smells incredibly good. And he kind of gives you guys each a bit of just like a mug of dark beer to kind of go with it.
I've got to say, for as much as I hate the ocean, I sure love the things that come out of it. The delicious things, and I am eagerly devouring this fish stew.
And it is poisoned. You're dead. No, it is, and it tastes phenomenal. I mean, it is just mouth-watering, like the whatever herbs and other bits. And the bartender seems really proud of that. Ooh, thank you, Lord Tabaxi. Yeah, I get most of my clientele comes in from the ocean. Get quite a few fishermen, few mariners, sailors, merchants. They like to come around every so often. You kind of caught me at a bit of a downturn. Most folks still out to sea, but I'm sure you're not here for the fish stew. So, what is it I can do for you?
We're looking for someone.
Now, as soon as you say that, the young man who kind of has been like looking at Kiara a little bit goes, kind of straightens up and kind of like moves his disheveled clothing over and kind of like leans over. Oh, yeah? Who you looking for?
Not you, you lout. And you would see Anna would just throw her spoon at him.
Besides, I don't think you could afford my cost.
And he kind of like wipes off. I was only joking. And Barton's, come on, and he kind of shoos the other two away and hands him a couple of mugs, gets him to go sit over there. Right, well, so what sort of a person you looking for then? Was it a fella or was it a lady?
Hi, bit of a tall fella. I think he was here two nights ago.
2 nights ago.
Tall, kind of a ginger, red hair.
Oh, right. Yeah, you mean what was his name? Floon. Yeah,
Aye.
yeah. He come in here with Volo for a few drinks, and then Volo had to leave, and then he met up with that lord, you know, or at least that lordland's son. Yeah, Renair Never Ember. Yeah, he kind of looks like him, kind of weird. Anyway, he what come in. They had a few drinks, played a few hands of Three Dragon Ante. Yep. And then after that, well, they left. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, place kind of cleared out after they left. I mean, mind you, there were only those two and, well, those two over there. And, there are these 5 lads who seems to work in the little bit up north in the top end of the dock wards. They work in a warehouse. 5 of them. Anyway, they were a strange lot. They were to come in every so often, have a few and leave, but that night was weird. It was just a strange night. I blame the full moon, to be perfectly honest with you. Yep. Full moon can do weird things to someone. And he kind of twirls his mustache a bit. Yeah, they were coming in for about a week. Floon and Renair, and they were off playing them cards. Then you hear him, he was just a lordland's son. You know them types that was coming down here, making us look bad. And bartender kind of like waves his hand and says, You You shut your mouth, Bram. You enjoy that free pint I'm giving you. Anyway, these 5 folk, yeah, they always came in, always dressed up in black. They were a weird lot, kind of angry looking, but as soon as they saw Floon, their eyes just lit up. Then they saw Renair, their eyes lit up again, and they left. As soon as those 2 left, and them 5 left as well. That was a weird one.
Did they have something on their neck? A snake? With wings?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, mind you, it's kind of dark, somewhat, somewhat dingy, and most folk don't really go showing lots of tattoos. Even though a lot of folk come in here as sailors, they're not always exactly the types to go showing off their goods and whatnot.
Were they a talkative bunch, or did they just sit there and drink?
Who sat drank mostly. Although when I was bringing over some drinks, I mean, I did overhear them. It turns out they work in the warehouse up in Candle Lane. They were talking something weird, something about needing something, or the prize was in sight, or something like that. Just a strange group. I didn't hear it. No, never mind, because their coin was as good as anyone else's, if you know what I mean. So,
have they been back since?
Not at all, which was the weird thing. They were coming in every night, and I'm a friendly sort of folk. You know, I like talking to folk. But, yeah, they didn't really talk very much, and then once they left for good, and that was it. Not seen them here in 2 days now.
Same thing for Renee?
Huh. I suppose. But Renair doesn't exactly like coming in here too often. He makes his rounds, I guess spending the old man's money, I suppose.
What are his other haunts, then?
Oh. Well, I mean, he likes here. He likes going to the Yawning Portal, but, I mean, everyone likes going to the Yawning Portal. There was a, and he kind of looks a little awkward at you, saying, like, looks at you kind of awkwardly. Well, you see, madam, milady, there's a place, where...
I don't blush easily. You can share freely.
Right, well, it's a house of negotiable...
traits and attributes?
Right, yeah, exactly. And sometimes you would go there. Believe that was the Blushing Maiden, but I think that's way up in the north wards. Yeah, he would just go all over. I mean, you don't really tell a lord's son where he can and can't go.
So essentially up to his old tricks as usual.
A little bit. I mean, Lordland's sons, not exactly right for leadership.
Know them a little all too well.
Well, there you go then. But yeah, no, that's really all I knows. I mean, if you want, I think when they were heading up, they were heading back up toward old Zoblob's shop. They're heading back up in that direction. I mean, most normal folk, when they leave here, they go back out toward the sea, mostly living in the shanties and whatnot. But yeah, Floon and Renair went their way, and them 5 followed soon after.
Do you happen to know anything about the people that they were investigating that they found dead up the ways? Zastro Street.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. What exactly happened?
Well, that's what I was hoping you could tell us. It just so happens it's not too far from old Zoblob's shop.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, what exactly did happen? Because I didn't see anything of what you're talking about.
Well, there were some individuals who actually fit a description, not too much unlike what you have told us, that were no longer of the living persuasion.
Oh, right. Well, what do they look like? I mean, if they were wearing all black and they looked like they were a tough bunch of sort and whatnot, I mean, it could have been that. Could have been the bloody Zents and the Xanathars fighting again. That's entirely possible.
Does that happen a lot?
It's been starting to for a little while now, miss. For some unknown reason, no one knows why, at least right now, those two have pretty much declared open war on each other, turning all the bloody streets into a battlefield. It's something you definitely want to watch if you're going to be walking around at night. And not just usual crime. Zents and Xanathars have really been having a go at each other.
What's triggered it?
Nobody knows. From the very few folk that I've heard, some less reputable than others, it's been said that the Zents, they done stole something important from the Xanathars, and the Xanathars are real mad that they stole this important thing. Whether or not that's true, or whether or not maybe the Xanathars or Zents are just making a power play for one another is entirely, well, it's up to them. I have no idea.
I turn to my companions and just say, based on the descriptions alone, it almost sounds as if our friend Floon may have, whether intentionally or not, gotten himself entangled up with the Zentarum. Perhaps he is somehow tied to all of this.
It certainly doesn't sound promising based on what we're finding out here.
Perhaps we ought to check out this warehouse. The one on Condell Lane, you said?
Yeah, Kendall Lane.
Was that far from here?
Oh,
sorry, Bevyn, I can't help but imitate your accent from time to time.
It's quite catchy.
Yeah, actually, you're not wrong. The bartender kind of thinks for a moment, like he kind of like strokes his scruff, and I'd say it's probably about an hour walk from here. Not too far. I mean, depending on which way you go, you could probably head up using the main road. That's one way to do it.
Is it terribly busy there during its work hours?
Oh, it'd probably be busy right now, milady.
When do they usually call it a night, then?
Well, I mean, what you could do, just gonna, as I'm the dungeon master's totally pulling up his map and totally not stalling for time. You were to walk straight up. Nope. Yes. Nope. There it is. Well, if you were to walk straight up Zastra Street, you can make up the Way of the Dragon and then turn down Candle Lane. Could do that. I mean, just be careful, though, because right now, everyone's getting all crazy for the harvest, don't you know? And as soon as they do, well, there's going to be lots of cartons, lots of wagons, lots of everything going up that road. It's a big one. So I'd be careful with there. There's no real crime, though, so, I mean, there is that. Yeah. Probably take you maybe about an hour.
That's not too bad, especially if we can explore the festivities ourselves along the way, I suppose.
Well, if I'm trying to think right, I think there's a lad just right up by Zastro in the Way of the Dragon, the main road, and he sells a really nice apple scrumpy. If you're thirsty afterwards.
I haven't had one of those in ages. That does sound lovely.
Good. Right, well, are you all done here? And he kind of looks, he's kind of pointing at your stews.
I need a spoon. I lost mine.
Oh, right. Because you threw it at Bram. Oh, you forgot. And he turns around and grabs you a spoon and
I am unceremoniously, I've got my bowl up and I'm kind of finishing it off, eating every last bit of it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Oh, of course.
As you do. As a cat does. As a cat does. I'm
gonna like scritch behind his ear just a little bit.
So as we finish up, I'll take a couple of gold pieces out of my purse and slide them across the bar.
Oh no, my lord, it's quite all right. I almost hit you with a mug. It's hardly befitting me, being a tavern owner, to hit you with glassware before you even come in.
I insist. Information calls it square. So please have a good night. We appreciate the help.
Cheers, and to you.
And to you.
So as you guys get up, you notice him picking up your mugs and dumping them back into the keg. Takes whatever fish stew that you haven't eaten and just pours it back into the pot as it's cooking. And as you walk away, and if you see that Amund Craddock, do kindly tell him I'm sorry because I am looking to buy some more ale. I'm running a bit low.
Noted.
Do you want us to throw a mug at him?
Or perhaps a larger tankard?
Maybe. And he just goes back to doing it. And as the door closes and the skewer dragon, you hear Jareth, the bartender, chastising Bram. Now that's no way for you to talk to a lady. And let me tell you another thing, Mr. Bram. And you hear him yelling as you guys take off. And as you go back up Zastro Street, you see old Zoblob's shop. You do see the stuffed dead beholder in the window, and once again you still see, as you walk past, you could swear that all those eyes are just following you as you're walking up the road. You see a few less people now. It's starting to become it's getting into the kind of mid-afternoon. It's now like probably getting on around 3-4 o'clock. People are starting now to kind of go out and grab whatever food they need for dinner. So they're just starting to like come in and cook up and grab like chickens and whatnot have you. As you make your way up Zastro Street, again, the kind of dilapidated, like almost claustrophobic buildings are starting to give way to like slightly nicer apartments as you walk up. As you get close up, you see the Way of the Dragon, this massive street, at least like 20, 30, even bigger wide, like just a huge thing. And you see wagons and carts and noble like I was about to say chariots, but no, wrong time period. But noble like carriages going through, and as you are about to step onto it, you can actually hear one noble carriage in particular. You hear this individual screaming, "Make way!" and like every time he's yelling, it's punctuated by this whip. That he seems to be lashing at the horses to urge them on. Make way for the Castellantas! And this snapping whip. The horses, both black as jet, frothing at the mouth You can't even see their eyes because their blinders are on, but you can imagine that they're just bulging as this carriage that looks to be of an elven dark wood, but almost stained black with golden and silver filigreed in all these like very interesting yet slightly unsettling patterns throughout the entire thing. And you see this individual wearing a tricorn hat, a his collar pulled straight up, screaming and yelling, and like basically mushing these horses on like faster and faster. One person just has enough time to move out of the way before like almost being trampled and run right over. And you just hear this individual screaming into the distance. Make way for the Castellantas! Make way for the noble Castellantas! As they go off into the distance.
I never much cared for the sense of entitlement some of the nobility have. There's a very big street. I don't know. I do not understand, but they need to force their ways through.
Sometimes sense of importance is inherited.
Anna would spit on the ground. Oh, I hate them. Think they're so great. They ain't that good.
You hear a voice. Well, you know what is good? Scrumpy. And you turn around and you see this kind of young man standing in like kind of like a dirty sort of apron, selling Scrumpy, and he kind of dips a ladle into this pot that's kind of like on a little specialized wagon and heated up, and he just pours it in and 2 coppers. It's pretty good.
I'd love one.
Oh, thank you, milady. And he passes you one, and immediately you get this scent of apples and cinnamon and just a hint of cardamom. And it's like this amazing, it's basically like drinking a baked cinnamon brown sugar apple. As you just drink, like you just take in this heady scent. And as you put up to your lips, it's like this incredible, hot, delicious cider.
I take a sip of it and I just let out this sigh. Who made this?
Oh, I do. Every day.
This is truly some of the best I've ever had.
Oh, thanks. Anybody else? 2 coppers?
Absolutely.
Oh,
It smells absolutely delightful. And I will gladly give you my 2 coppers to taste whatever this marvelous scent is.
And he looks to you, Bevyn, and you, Anna. And he's holding a couple of cups.
Just hand over a couple of coppers. Nod as I take the...
Thanks. And again, it's delicious. If you ever had hot, like a hot apple cider, it's everything you've wanted and more. He smiles and yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, and I go and I press actually a silver piece into his hand so the others don't see, and I just whisper to him, "May Timora take care of you today. I have a feeling it's going to be a good day of sales for you."
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I'm quite sure of it.
Well, thank you. And he kind of puts it into another pouch. Like you see, he's got like 3 pouches. And one of them's like you can tell it's a copper pouch. It's rather large. And you got a silver pouch, a little bit smaller. And then a gold pouch, which is like very, very tiny. Puts that in there. He's like, I really doubt it. And suddenly like just a large group of people stop. And you see this wagon, like kind of crunches off to the side and this wheel breaks. And a bunch of people like going just suddenly have to stop. And they're like, "What are you doing, man? Oh, it's my bloody wagon car. It fell. I don't know what happened." And so, would anybody like any Scrumpy?
It's quite good. Might be worth having.
People start jumping off and like, yeah, I'll have a Scrumpy, I guess. How long's this gonna take? I don't know how long it's gonna take. Well, hurry up. Well, I'll hurry up as much as I can. And then so he's handing them Scrumpy, and they're just passing out like coppers, and he's just like smiling. It seems like that's not something he's used to, but he seems so happy with all this coin pressed in his hand, and he's busy trying to like shove it into his pouches and stuff his pockets and everything. He's like handing out the Scrumpy, and he's like, he just looks at you and he smiles, but it's a smile that it's not like I'm making money. It's I'm grateful for whatever it is you just did, but you did something, and thank you.
I think Anna would look at Kiara kind of suspiciously with one eyebrow cocked.
What? It's good Scrumpy.
Did you do that for him?
I have no idea what you mean. I just know that Timura's on his side today.
Well, if you're ever feeling generous again, and she kind of thumps her chest a little bit, I'm right here.
Oh, I've already made note of that, and you can be sure of it.
When the crowds have subsided, you can hear his pot actually starting to clang as it's almost out. Thank you so much. I don't know what I can do to repay you all. I never really thought I'd do this. I mean, most times the Merchants Guild sets specific spots for us, and I kind of got stuck with this one. It's not very lucky, but...
Well, I'd say it was quite lucky today.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I guess I have you to thank. Is there anything I can do to repay you?
You haven't, by any chance, over the past couple of days, seen a rather interesting pair of young men, Floon and Renair, wandering around this area by any chance?
I'm sorry, I can't really place the names. What do they look like?
Tall fellows, somewhat similar to each other, known for a copperish color to their hair.
Oh, actually, now that you mention it, yeah, well, they weren't exactly walking anywhere together. They were kind of being dragged. There were
Wouldn't
five.
happen to be a group of men dressed in black, would it?
Yeah, they were, and he kind of lowers his voice. They were Zentarum.
That's concerning.
I'm pretty sure of it. I think they have a place that they usually hang out. It's a warehouse just over there, and he kind of points just like 50 feet ahead, and then on is like this street, but it's a weird looking, it looks like a small street, but it almost looks like you only can tell it's a street because the buildings are so high and so cramped together. Yeah, that's Candle Lane. If you're looking for your friends, then I would suggest looking quickly. It's not a very good street. I was originally supposed to be in Candle Lane selling Scrumpy, but I sort of snuck out and stayed here. And
probably for the best, then.
Yeah. There's well, I'm not sure what warehouse it is, but it's probably got the Zentarum symbol on it, so it might be a good idea to look for that.
I appreciate it. That's helpful.
But just be careful, okay? Because they're kind of dangerous.
Noted. Thank you. What is your name, by the way?
Oh, Hall. Hollister, but it's Hall.
Well, Hollister, thank you for such a wonderful treat this afternoon.
Well, you're welcome. High Harvest Tide's blessing to you all. I guess I got to go make some more Scrumpy. And he kind of lifts up his cart and he starts kind of walking away down towards the towards the dock ward area.
Making Scrumpy. It kind of sounds like a wonderful afternoon delight.
To put it mildly.
It was quite delicious, though. Perhaps a nice little bit of brightness before we go there.
To say the very least, but it seems we are on the right path.
So if you all wish to start moseying,
Yes.
as you, yes, we shall mosey, but not scamper. As you guys head over to Candle Lane, you can see now the whole area, like it almost looks like you're stepping into night. As soon as you walk in, the sunlight, or what hazy sunlight there is during this time of year, seems to be blocked out, and it seems to be very dark. You see a few candles and windows. People, anyone who is walking very quickly, and then like kind of going only as far as they need to, and then either into a building, into their homes. People generally have their heads down, but they're not cognizant of what's going on. As a matter of fact, one seems to be an older woman who's kind of walking towards you, seeing you start to walk into Candle Lane. She promptly does a 360 and then turns around and like kind of scampers off into another area. You see why this place is called Candle Lane, as there is one street light, and it seems to be this one candle that is burning up in a post. And you see for a moment the light flickers and dims and flickers, and is just on the verge of going out when it kind of sparks back up and provides light again in the area.
Turning to Bevyn and Anna. Are you going to be able to see okay in here? It is quite dim, especially after the darkness there. I have cat's eyes, you see. I can see very well down here.
I'll look to Anna, and I'll just gesture into the alleyway there. This is what you like to do, isn't it? Shall you take a look around, see what you can find out for us?
You see that Anna kind of was furrowing her brows for a bit, but as soon as you say that, she lets out this huge grin. Yeah, I'll be right back. And she would kind of go off, and she's just going to literally run around. I can imagine her being very light of foot, as she just kind of does like a perimeter check along this lane, Candle Lane.
There you go. All right, make me an investigation check, seeing as how you're looking specifically for this one thing, and what exactly are you looking for?
She's looking for anything of note, anything that seems out of the ordinary, or anyone who seems to be unlike that woman of just wanting to get back home as quickly as possible. Anyone who might be hanging around or looking suspicious.
Okay.
That's an 18.
You, as you were looking around, you see a few people who you think might be into some not quite so legal stuff, but nobody who you would classify as like Zentarum or anyone in particular that is involved in it. As you were looking around, you did notice, however, with that high roll, you do see a few warehouses. They seem to be a bit more on the edge of Candle Lane, or at least on the opposite edge, and then coming back, not actually giving it a full investigation or a full look, seeing as how you ran by it. That's pretty much what you see.
Yeah, she just wanted to do a cursory look just to see if there was immediately anything So she would come back to the group. So, besides those louts in that area over there who, well, I want to keep an eye out for later businesses, Bev, and she kind of gives you a wink. Seems clear. There are warehouses over there, though.
Warehouses are what we're looking for. You couldn't
And
tell.
that's what I found.
Well, let's get a closer look at them. Did we get do we have any? We didn't get any other information about what warehouse, did we?
No.
Okay.
No, you would the only thing you would be looking for is some type of a thing that might determine a what would be this warehouse of these individuals. It's got to be something. If you were to have a look, like, I don't know, perceive it or investigate it.
I'm going to be paying particular attention to the warehouses. I imagine with my big yellow cat's eyes, I can see a little better in the darkness than these poor half-blind humans.
You're such a walking dad joke.
Excuse me. I'm not a human, so I feel like you're being a bit racist.
You're also forgetting that I have some bloodlines that pretty much see what you can, my dear.
Well, to be fair, you are at least partially human. You're
Just
not
apologize.
entirely an elf.
Just apologize.
And I just looked at the two of you. You know what? Forget I said anything. We can all see wonderfully. I will never doubt your vision again. Accept my most humble apologies on that. And I bow deeply, removing my large hat so that my feather grazes the ground.
Just want to make sure you're not too big for your boots.
I'm
You
going
get a
to let that one.
disadvantage for
I'm
it.
going to let that one slide. I had it coming.
Anyway, all right. So
I would like to go back to paying attention to the warehouses and not insulting my party member.
sure.
Is light a concern? Because I could do something to give us a little bit more light if we wanted, or would we rather go under the cloak of darkness?
Oh,
No, I'm not going to make you guys. I'm not going to make you guys roll for that because it's just going to take a little bit of. It'll just take a little bit of time. But doing a kind of glance and kind of look around. I'm just going to assume, because I'm not a jerk, that you guys aren't exactly like clomping around and like, hey, is that the Zentarum hideout? Maybe that's the Zentarum hideout, in like extremely loud.
Oh, we've got cameras around our necks, maps that we're turning around.
Nice.
We're looking
Nice
up
selfie
at
sticks.
everything. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, take my picture behind the ever-burning candle.
Are there any landings or any, those ladders that drop down on these?
Oh, you mean like fire escapes?
Sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ancient fire escapes? Old? I don't know.
I mean, fire escapes would actually be a remarkable thing, even in the City of Splendors. But
yeah,
no.
I'm just looking for a landing or something farther up off ground.
Okay. I mean, if you want to scale the side of a building, I would certainly let you. It would be very, very, very difficult. But if you want to parkour, I mean, far be it from me.
Not for everybody. Shing.
That's true. You do have advantage on climbing checks.
I have a climbing speed.
Yeah.
Did you want to climb along with him, Anna?
I bet I can beat him to the top.
Oh,
And Anna would just take off running.
I'm going to quickly grab her arm before she goes and just say, I think now is the time for you to be a little bit more lucky than others. And I'm going to give her blessing of the trickster.
Nice.
Which
All right.
means that you get advantage on all your dexterity stealth checks.
Nice.
all right.
For an hour.
So, whatever building, whatever warehouse Anna's running towards, I'm running towards as well. Claws out, and I'm gonna. Apparently, we're climbing we're racing to the top of a warehouse.
All right. Then I'll have you, 6, and you, Anna, roll initiative.
Wunderbar.
This is going to be a thing.
My new dice I bought specifically for 6. All right, and that is a 12 plus 3, 15.
Okay. And sorry, what did you get, Anna?
14.
14. Okay. All right. So you just take off at a dead run 6. And as you begin to climb, of course, I'm going to need an athletics check. Or no, if you have a climbing speed, now how does that work? I guess you just climb as normal, right?
So
because if
I was just looking up the movement rules just to be sure. Normally, if you don't have climbing speed, it's kind of like difficult terrain, where every movement costs an extra foot, unless you have a climbing or swimming speed. So I can move at whatever my climbing speed is without taking a movement penalty. Your option, you can require athletic checks.
Okay. So the building that you are currently about to be climbing up is 40 feet high. You can, I'm going to say 6 that you're able to climb up. You're able to climb up normally if you want, and you'll get up 30 feet. If you want to make an athletics check, you can climb up to the very top.
So I'm going to ask this question and let you make the ruling because of the way it's worded. I have, as a tabaxi, a thing called feline agility that allows me to move twice my speed without taking a dash action. But it's worded as in combat.
Okay, well, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I see what you're saying. I don't know. How seriously are you taking this race?
She challenged me to a race. I'm going to beat her to the top.
Okay.
Either way, I mean, either that or I'm going to dash and I get 40 feet of climbing. So
yeah, I'll allow this.
There is a penalty to it, so
there you go then. Okay, yeah, no, go for it.
So yeah, I will run after her and kind of just look at her and tip my hat as I run past, leaping up, claws out, and just begin scrambling up the side of this building, moving at a rapid pace up to the top and pulling myself up.
Okay. As you pull yourself up, like you kind of like scratch your way up, pull yourself up, climb yourself right up there. You can see, as soon as you look up, you see something that completely and utterly makes you stop. And that's where we're going to take a break.
I knew it.
See, oh, you son of a gun. You're so predictable, Mike, with your predictableness.
No, I was just going to say, just the penalty for that, using that ability, is I can't do it again until I take a turn where I don't move at all. So there is a trade-off.
Yeah,
there's a trade-off for that. So I took advantage of the quick speed, but I can't do it again unless I take a turn where I just stand there, and I can still take actions. I just can't move. All right, gonna take a quick break.
Yep, take a little bit of 5-6 minute break, and we'll be back. And we're gonna see the horrible thing that I'm about to throw at 6.
I blame Anna entirely.
Nope, this is all you. You want to win? Now you're gonna see.
It's a good thing I have 9 lives. All right. Yeah, we're going to throw up the break screen here, and we will see you guys in about 5 or 6 minutes. Hang out. There's quite a few people in the chat on both Facebook and Twitch, so talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back. go. We're back.
All right. 6, make me a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw?
A wisdom saving throw.
All right. Let's see. That is not one of my good saving throws. That is a 12 on the die, so that is a 13.
Okay. As you get up top, the darkness of the streets is now lifted, and you are now into the kind of 3 o'clock the afternoon sun, which is kind of stuck behind a bit of like a hazy fog, like not quite clouds, but still it's enough to permeate what looks to be the top of this apartment building's kind of communal garden. And you see a bunch of kind of potted plants. But what catches your eye, and this is what really gets you, and why you needed to make that wisdom saving throw, what someone has done is has taken dozens, maybe even 50 of these small little old potion bottles and has hung them up, catching the sun in different rays. And as these sway, as these hanging little bottles sway in the breeze, they just display these multicolored hues of light, just rainbows everywhere. And you are transfixed, being a cat, of these not only hanging things, but all these lights just displayed everywhere. Your eyes are now massive. Your pupils are hugely dilated as you keep staring left and right and left and right. And you don't even know which thing to attack first, which of course, unfortunately, that means you're stunned for a few rounds. So Anna, as you see 6 just zip right up and over, you now realize kind of maybe the possible folly of what had happened. What are you going to do?
Cheetah, she would just say under her breath. And
is that cheetah or cheater? Because I'll take cheetah.
Both. She looks back towards the other two who are kind of following behind. She kind of jogs back to them. I think we should leave him up there.
Right. Next warehouse, then.
What's he doing up there anyways?
You guys are mean. Okay, well, as you just look upon this cacophony of moving things and hanging things on strings, 6, the 3 of you, as you guys are walking through, you don't quite notice it fully at first, but eventually as you were scanning doorways and things like that, you eventually come to a doorway of a warehouse that has a snake symbol, the flying serpent symbol for the Zentarum, and it looks to have been scratched with a dagger onto the door, and then like kind of done in with like charcoal, like pressed into it. So it's a very crude design. The way this warehouse looks is that you have this front door that goes to the on the street level, but it seems to dip down. The lane seems to go downward, and on a lower area, you see a fence line, which looks to be a yard, and then you see you can just make out what appears to be like 2 large double doors, which seems to be where carts and other things would go into.
Looks to be what we're looking for. Probably should go get the cat man.
I was going to say, do we really want to leave him up there? I mean, cats can be rather troublesome after all, but this one might actually be handy being a bard and everything.
It is 6 at this point that you seem to snap out of. About 10 minutes has gone by, and you seem to snap out of all the moving stuff. What would you care to do?
As I finally break my gaze away from these dancing lights and sounds, I turn to look back down into the alley. Can I see where they went, or are they further down out of my view?
Though you have really good view. You're able to see. You're able to see the just kind of like down there. You can see the three of them are walking down Candle Lane as the street is, or at least the road or whatever is fairly deserted. There's not a lot of people walking. Not a lot of people tend to walk through this area. So you see them kind of standing in front of one in particular, and they're kind of like looking at each other and pointing.
Can I get to the warehouse they're at across the rooftops?
Yes, you could. The only thing would be like you can jump. The first one you can jump, like the first building you can jump to isn't too much of a trouble. The next one is a fair bit down, so you'd have to climb down, and then you could make your way onto the warehouse roof.
Yeah, I feel like I have a bit of an advantage being up high, so yeah, I want to move across the rooftops to where the warehouse where they're at.
Okay. So now these buildings are essentially touching. So I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about falling. So as you run, you kind of almost like hand plant off of one side of the roof, drops down about 10 feet. You kind of do a landing roll. The next one, you kind of slide down the building a little bit, using all the panache you possibly can. You panache the heck out of this.
Oh yeah, tumbling is part of my performance.
Yeah, I'm kind of using that background as a thing. As you eventually land like quiet. Well, depends. Like you land on the roof. Actually, fairly quietly. You're a tabaxi, so you guys don't really like stomp around like a half orc or anything. No half orc hate. Okay. So you, as you like land on the roof, and the three of you now see Six kind of land very, very gracefully onto the roof.
I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna go, here, kitty, 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 down here.
Is this the building we are looking for?
It certainly has the right symbol.
Are we just going to walk right into it? Maybe I should take a look around. Is there any kind of like rooftop windows or doors or anything up here?
There is not. No. It's basically just a very gentle sloped roof. So it's got a bit of a pitch, but it's not it's not flat. It's typical clay adobe tiles. You can look down, like if you look down and you can see, you see the yard. You can also see where the yard is. You can see the double doors, and then you also see what looks to be another door inside the yard, a smaller like side door, man door, for people just to walk in and out of.
All right, seeing no real advantage then being up here, I will climb my way down to the rest of the group.
Okay. So it doesn't take much, even if you climb down to where they are on the street level. It's a 10-foot drop, so I mean you can just hop down, and you guys are together. So there are the three ways of that you have seen for access. I'm sure you guys would have discussed it. And so you have the double doors in the yard, which is gated. You have a small person door in that gated area, and then you have the door that's at street level, which has the symbol on it.
Did you say a small person door or a small person door?
Good. Okay, I see what you did there.
I feel like in D&D this might be important to clarify.
No. Good call. Very good call. No, it is a door made for a medium-sized creature. as opposed to the large sliding double doors that are there.
I don't think it's a good idea to just walk right into the Zentrum's building.
I certainly wouldn't go in there banging pots and pans and knocking on the front door, say, may we see your wares.
But what would be worse, to walk directly in and ask around, or to get caught sneaking around?
What do you intend to ask them, my friend? Do you have the two tall, handsome redheads floating around lately?
Have you seen a tall redhead person? Have you seen this man?
And then they're going to ask, what do you want with him? And clearly they're
going to say that his best friend is looking for him.
Am I the only one concerned with the rather obvious questioning?
They're the ones that took him. I don't think we're going to get much out of them.
Well, sometimes when you ask the obvious questions, rather than beating around the bush, you can observe their expressions. People tend to give away things with their eyes.
Oh yeah, I'd love to observe their expressions as they stab their knives into my gut. I think that'd be great.
You have such a bleak outlook on everything, Anna. Once in a while, you should climb to the top of the building and see the glorious spectacle that is sunlight dancing through glass.
Were there drugs up there, Six?
If there was drugs up there, do you think I would be down here with you lot? I assure
So what do
you.
we know of the Zentarum?
They
run the underworld. I know they're into smuggling.
They aren't exactly the most savory characters from what I've heard.
Maybe we can use that.
Interesting methods.
Maybe we can use that to our advantage. Maybe ask some questions about getting some stuff smuggled.
Perhaps we can do the best of both worlds.
Spin it around a little bit, then.
We could have two people sneak in, or one, and another couple distraction.
Well, I am pretty light on my feet.
I tend to convince people that I'm worth speaking to at the very least.
I like that idea. Kiara, you do the talking, I'll do the watching, you two do the sneaking.
I like the sound of that.
I don't know how you do this, Kiara. You say words and somehow you make things happen or make people do the things. A moment ago I was saying maybe we shouldn't be sneaking around, and here I am volunteering to sneak around with Anna.
I just sometimes have the luck of the draw, I suppose.
Well, let's hope that luck is on our side.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It usually is.
Anna, perhaps as we sneak around, perhaps I should take the high ground, and you stay down on the ground where you are safer.
Shit. All right, you two roll initiative again. And PvP.
Just stay out of my way. And she's going to put, she has this like extra piece of fabric that's around her neck, and she kind of pulls it up so that it covers the lower half of her face. Actually, this might be a good idea for you to be above me. Then you can watch me in my greatness. And then she would just walk towards the side door. Is that what that is?
Muted. I thought you were going to get through the whole session without doing that, Mike.
I know, me too. It was almost so close. So as you walk down this kind of like small little berm or like hilly part of Candle Lane, you see before you looks to be a fence, some sort of a kind of like a taller wooden fence, but there's like a lot of holes in it, so it's not like it's it's very, very secure. You do see a kind of a sliding, like a double sliding door at the fence. But you see that it's not locked. It's like, because normally it looks like there's a chain that's hanging from it, but it's just hanging now. It's not actually locked up with a padlock or anything. So it's partially ajar. And just through that door, you can see 2 more double doors that are closed. And as you kind of give it a quick surveil, you can also see the side door to go into on the bottom.
I think that Anna would take the side door to go into the bottom.
Okay. So as you sneak your way through, half expecting someone to like kind of like pop up or yell or anything, you hear nothing. As you make your way over to the small side door, you try the doorknob and you realize that it's kind of locked.
She would take out this small pouch that she has. In it are thieves' tools, a lockpick, and various other picks. She would crouch down in full concentration. Her eyes are just gleaming as she begins to try and quietly pick the lock.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, I think that's DM's preference on that.
Okay.
The thieves' tools just let you add proficiency bonus.
That's right. That's right. All right, so it'll be a we'll make it a dex, like just a straight up dexterity, and for using the thieves' tools, you can add half your proficiency.
Okay.
Don't forget you have advantage.
Is that only with stealth or with all checks?
It says dex checks.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
So that's a 22.
Okay. You just, as you fumble around, you can hear the tumblers kind of moving in the direction that you want, and just when you think that you've got, and you think, no, wait, and then the lock kind of opens up and the door kind of like slowly begins to swing. However, this door is the only door in Waterdeep where the owners have put WD-40 on it, so it doesn't make a sound. So there you go. See, you chuckle, but it's true. Every dungeon master out there is like, and the door opens. It's like, no, you know what? These people actually oiled the doors. So there you go. Yeah, they're classy that way.
She would open it just a little bit, just enough so that she can see through. And she would quickly take a look back to see where 6 has gone.
You would immediately be looking into 6's eyes. I have been over your shoulder the entire time.
Just like a cat.
Don't do that.
I figured it was you were the better one with the opening the lock. I figured I'd go up high once we got inside. If it's all the same to you, I would rather not climb up on top of the buildings like, all by myself again.
Why, you're afraid you're going to find more drugs up there?
Believe me, if I found the drugs, I would not be here. I already told you this. Now, what do you see?
They're dilated. And she would just kind of sneak in, slide in if she didn't see anyone.
No, the only things that you would see as soon as you open that door is basically a big line of crates. You see that the crates end into kind of like a makeshift hallway that kind of shoots around to the left. I need you to roll me a stealth check.
Both of us?
If you're both going in, then yes.
My plan is, if these are crates that are stacked up, that once she starts moving in, that I'm going to try to climb up the crate. So, do you want me to wait until she's done, or?
If you're going to wait, if 6 is going to wait outside until
I'm gonna watch her just standing right there in the doorway.
Okay, then Anna, you roll a stealth check.
I got a 27.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. Anna's already done everything, and we're good. All right, great campaign, everyone. That was.
Where did she go?
Yeah, Anna's already gone, stealthed in, moved in. You see nothing, but make me a perception check.
That is a 13.
Okay, you see, or you don't see, but rather you can hear kind of off to your right and like further on into the warehouse, because the warehouse is in like an L-shaped pattern. You guys are like an upside down L, right? You guys are in the little crook up top right now. So the sound you hear sounds, you hear like what seems to be like things being thrown around and other like such noises. You can hear like in like very inaudible, like not screeching, but it's a weird kind of mumble cackle. It's just a strange noise, just kind of in that direction. Six, what are you doing?
Seeing her disappear into the shadows, first thing I'm going to do is look up and see how tall, how high up are the ceiling? How high do these crates go?
The crates go up about 10 feet. So it just kind of like stops up at what looks to be a ceiling. But then as you look, you see that there is a second floor, but the second floor has been cut out in the middle. So there's like an area there. You can kind of just at the corner of your vision kind of make out what looks to be like kind of a crane, or like some version of like a crane to pick up crates and whatnot. And you see like just lots of.
So yes, I'm going to try to quietly climb up to the top of the crates, and if that would allow me to get onto the second floor, I would do so. But first, I would like to climb the crates.
I will say now it will not allow you to climb to the second floor, but as you do climb the crates, I need you to go ahead and make me a stealth check.
Let's see, which die? I'm going to try My Little Pony friendship die. And that's, let's see, stealth. Where is my stealth check? Where did it go? Oh yeah, it's up here. That is a 22.
Okay. As you begin to climb them, you realize that whoever stacks these crates is not a proper warehouseman. The crates begin to like shift and some of the weight begins to move, but you're still able to climb up quiet enough. You begin to hear the same thing, like a little bit of cracking and like this weird cackling and just muffled talking. In the meantime, what are you two doing, Kiara and Bevyn?
Arya, here's what I'm thinking. You do the talking. Maybe we have something we're trying to smuggle, and we've heard that they're good at it.
I like that idea. What should we have them smuggle for us?
Well, we're looking for a person. Maybe we got to smuggle some people. You have some experience with that in the past, don't you?
This is true. All right, so are we trying to get someone in or someone out?
Stick to what we're looking for. If Floon was here, and now he's not, maybe they smuggled him out. Maybe we can get some clues on that side.
I like that line of thinking.
Right.
Well,
you do the talking. I'll
do the knocking.
Do the knocking. I'll keep my eyes open. See what we can find out.
Here's to hoping. Fingers crossed.
So you're going to be knocking on the door at street level, like that kind of main entrance. Okay. So as you walk up to the door, and you knock, Anna and Six, you hear the knock kind of sound as a bit of a quiet one at first. The whatever's making the noise stops for a moment, waits, and then goes back to do rummaging it. Are you going to knock again, Kiara?
I'll knock, yeah, because Bevyn was knocking first.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. You gonna knock, like, you gonna hammer on the door? Or are you gonna
Probably like one of those like cute little type deal.
Okay. Once again, Anna and Six, you hear the noise, but then suddenly now it just stops. And you begin to hear some shuffling, and then you hear nothing.
I guess if they're not going to answer the door, there's not much we can do here. Shall we make our way around to the other door where our friends are? Or do you think we should stay here?
Well, perhaps give it another minute or so. It is a large warehouse, and maybe we got them in the middle of something and they had to stop.
Can I pinpoint where this sound is coming from?
Looks like it's coming from kind of the main area where the kind of second floor part is cut out, where it's like there's like a balcony on the second floor, and it's on the ground area where you are now.
Can I get closer to it across the tops of the crates?
You can move. You move a little bit further and try and get yourself into an advantage. I'm going to need you to make a stealth check though for me.
I will gladly do this.
We'll see.
Let's say 15.
So as you begin to kind of slowly move in, you catch one crate that's, you didn't see it at first. I mean, how could you? It's dark. It's not exactly, a brightly lit area, but it's a moldy carton, a moldy crate, and your hand goes right through, and you can just hear this echoing throughout the warehouse. You hear again a few more things of shuffling, and you hear, then you don't hear anything.
Looking around, can I see Anna anywhere? I imagine not with that high stealth she rolled.
I don't think Anna can even see Anna.
Anna's like gone into her own plane at this point, let's face it.
Anna is not I can imagine that she would have gone to the closest area that she could take cover, that wasn't climbing on top of the crates.
Okay. Well, there are many crates that you could have taken cover behind, and as you kind of move around, you can see now, you can see now as you've moved away from that kind of like large conglomerate of crates there. You can see now what looks to be a stone and wood staircase going up to a second floor, and
that's where you said that sound was coming from, that shuffling.
Nope, that was coming from like kind of the main open area where the double doors would be. So that would be in that area.
Right. She's going to make her way towards that noise, being as quiet as possible. When she hears Six, that crack of wood,
yeah,
she kind of snorts to herself. Amateur. And tries to get into sight of what is making that, or not into sight, but trying to be able to see what was making that shuffling.
Okay. All right. So then, okay, so that's you two, good to go. You again don't really see very, like, it's really tough to see. As you see the stairwell, you can kind of start to see the area there, and the area where the sound is kind of emanating from. And you see an overturned table, a few crates that have been knocked over, um, and you see kind of something on the ground. You're not quite sure what it is. It looks like some clothes or some rumpled something. You're not sure. But we'll take it now up to Kiara and Bevyn. So as you guys have waited another minute, nobody's answered the door. What are your plans?
I think we need to join our friends because I don't think we're getting in this way.
I'd agree.
So as you guys make your way down, again, very much the same. You see the sliding door that you kind of push a little bit ahead. You kind of go in. You do see that the small door that they entered in is ajar. You also see the two sliding doors.
Which way do you think? Their way or the bigger way?
I had the last idea. It didn't seem to work too well, so why don't you choose this one?
Well, I'm thinking we should probably go where the door has already been eased open for us.
I think that's a good idea.
All right. Why don't you lead the way since you're a little bit more experienced at the sneaking than I? At least in this type of situation.
So I'll head off sneakily in that direction.
All right. So as you go through the door, I'm going to need you to make me a stealth check, Bevyn. And Kiara, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing.
16.
All right. You move in with barely a sound.
17.
17. Nice. Both of you, go in with barely a sound. You can see 6 kind of trying to get his hand out. He's on top of some crates, and of course you don't see Anna because pocket dimension. So that's what you guys see right now.
Whispering to Bevyn, why am I not surprised to see his hand stuck in something?
He's a cat.
Always with the cats.
He's kind of speciesist. I'm just saying. All right, so what's the plan and how am I going to destroy them?
Very, very carefully.
So since we are unable to see 25% of our group, just going to head over towards the cat in the box. So,
all right. So you see 6 up there, his paw, like he's trying to get it out.
I'm going to sort of slowly and quietly skirt around, but can I also listen in to see if I hear anything else besides 6 with his hand in the cookie jar?
Okay, so as you move around, now are you going to move around to like where the staircase would be? So it's this like kind of typical straight up staircase that kind of leads out to the large area that you guys can't quite see yet.
I'll probably move closer to it, but I'm not going to scale up the stairs quite yet.
Gotcha. So as you go near the staircase, now you can see kind of like the whole area, and very much as before, you see lots of crates. You see quite a few columns. You also see a large pile of dead bodies. You see a mixed, like from your angle, you can see, some individuals in different types of armor. You see a few like broken arrows in crates and sticking out of them. You see a few. One looks to be a half orc. Another one looks to be possibly a were-rat. You're not sure, but definitely quite hirsute. And you see quite a few dead humans, all kind of in a big pile. You also see an overturned table, and make me a perception check.
That's an 11.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Right. Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You're doing great. And then, yeah, you see like furniture flipped and kicked over, crates knocked over. And yeah, that's pretty much all that you see.
All right, seeing that I'm probably going to push myself back to the wall and quickly put my hood up to kind of darken myself a little bit further and cover my own red hair.
Okay. So yeah, as you do that and you kind of like scoot up against the wall, what are you doing, Anna?
Anna's trying to get a better look at this pile, but she can't seem to discern what it is. But in the periphery, something catches her eye, and she's going to make her way over to the staircase.
Okay. So as you go toward, like, by the staircase kind of in the corner, you actually see Anna standing there with her hood up. And you notice that she's leaning on something that seems kind of weird. And if you want to try and discern what that weird is, I'll get you to make me a perception check.
You see, all of a sudden from the shadows, just Anna appears in front of you, Kiara. And she looks very focused, like you've never seen anything like that. And she goes right up to you. She puts her hand on your shoulders. And then she just moves you over to the side. And then she goes behind you to look at the wall. And sorry, what check did you want me to do?
Perception, please.
Perception, okay. 24.
You notice that it's just weird. Like, you're not a mason, you're not in construction, you don't really know stone, you're not a dwarf. But for some odd reason, all these stones are incredibly dark gray. But there's this one section that seems lighter gray. It just seems lighter than the others. Like it doesn't make much sense. And you see this like strange looking keystone that's kind of like sticking out. Like it's like someone like haphazardly put a stone in there, and it just seems to be like sticking out at a kind of a weird angle.
And Anna would turn to Kiara. Something here.
What do you see?
You see dark gray? Not dark gray. And she kind of like points to it, and then she also points to the keystone and just looks at you.
Hidden doorway, maybe?
That's what I would do.
It would make sense.
She is going to poke it.
I mean,
touch it.
They have a saying about curiosity in cats.
Oh.
Maybe it applies to half-elves, too.
Maybe. As you kind of like touch and push on the keystone, you suddenly see this section kind of, and it's at that moment that an arrow comes flying out from this area, strikes you. I assume that a 21 to hit is going to hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And you take 8 points of piercing damage as an arrow goes shooting into your back and side.
Well,
and
Kiara, you just see Anna drop from this arrow hit. She kind of stumbles back a little bit as it hits her, and she just kind of crumples.
And Anna is fully down?
Yep.
Not like dead, right? Because that's really
No.
bad. Okay.
Not dead.
Okay. Whew. Ha. Just, okay. Hi.
Things just got interesting.
And
I
I'm
start
gonna-
frantically waving to 6 on top of the box. Just down. Get down, cat.
When I see Anna go down, she's within reach of me, correct? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
She just
Oh
moved
yeah,
me?
she's like 5 feet. You could reach. You could touch her.
All right, then I'm falling to my knees and I'm going to cure wounds.
All right.
So that is a 1d8. 6 points.
1d8 plus spellcasting, right?
Yeah, just did it.
Nice.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I will leap down from atop my crates to the waving Bevyn. Because I imagine at this point, I have no clue what's going on. I don't think I could see where they were.
Yeah, no. Even from your height, you like I said, you can just start to make out the kind of side opening of it. But it is at that stage that you hear this kind of throaty rumble. It's this, kill them, and you see 4 small black creatures, feathered, running at you with short swords, and they start to run straight at you, and we're gonna roll that beautiful bean footage. I mean, roll initiative.
All right.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh. Things
I
you
don't
don't want to
like
hear your
that.
DM say.
Right.
Crap. Well, I got an 18.
Same.
Nice.
18.
Ooh, same
I got
piece.
an 18.
Stop! This is a new one.
I got a 19.
Oh man. Okay, so it's the Kenku, 6. Then I guess the 3 of you can Thunderdome fight it out for who wants to go after.
I'm probably the best to go last because I don't have much weaponry.
Fair ball. Okay, so then it gets between Bevyn and Anna. Who wants to go after 6?
Anna likes to do the killing.
All right, Anna, it is. And then Bevyn.
And a bit of the dying, too, it would seem.
Oh, wow. Why you got to be a dick about it? And
It was said with a hint of concern.
Yeah, like cat concern, maybe. All right, so the Kenku come running in. 2 of them immediately go to you, 6, and you, Bevyn, and each one kind of takes a swipe at you with their short swords. I've got a does a 15 hit you, 6?
A 15 does indeed hit me.
Okay, and it's just kind of more of a glancing blow as these creatures are just trying to like kind of take really quick swipes at you. You take 2 points of piercing damage, and does a 13 hit you, Bevyn.
Aye.
Okay, and they come around, and this one seems to be a little bit more prepared. It swings in low, comes up low, and it hits you for 5 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, right? The other 2 are still running at you, Kiara, and you, Anna. Both of them are running. They're not going to make the distance, but they are still running at you, yelling. Well, cawing. Caw yelling. Kelling? Anyway. So next up, it is your turn, 6.
Birds, my favorite prey. As I withdraw my rapier, and I will strike at the one that struck at me with my rapier for a... Are you freaking... You know what? I have to use a domain die. I just rolled a nat 1. I am not going out like that. I'm burning one of those.
Oh my gosh. It's like the
my
Matrix.
Okay.
It's like the Matrix. Not like this. Not like this.
That's not much better. Let's see. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
That hits.
So I pierce at this stupid bird with my rapier, dealing 10 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, your rapier sinks up to the hilt with this creature, and it stops for a moment, and as you withdraw it, it just kind of clutches its chest and goes down, and you just hear it as it's cawing.
And
next, yep.
I'm not done yet.
Oh,
because I need to see if this is a bonus action or an action.
Okay.
This is a cantrip.
And Anna, you're going to be up next. So
that is... where did it go? Sorry, I had to get the other book. It is a... Oh, it's an action. So instead, I will look to Bevyn, who looks to be bleeding quite profusely, as I withdraw my rapier from the dying Kenku. And I just look at him and I say, "You do it like this, Bevyn, and you too can be successful." And I will grant you bardic inspiration to the tune of 1d6.
nice. That'll be helpful. And Anna, you are up.
You fucking twat! And Anna's going to stab at the Kenku.
Well, the Kenku's not near you yet. Like it's still running. Yeah, it's still running at you. If you have a ranged weapon, now would be the time to.
Yes, she definitely does. She just takes out her this small little bow that almost seems like it should be for a child. And she takes it out and she knocks an arrow, and she is going to try to hit.
Yeah.
Can I use a domain dice after that?
I could tell.
Because I don't want to say.
That was the look of somebody debating the use of the domain dice. There you go. We are
I got
at
that one.
Oh.
That's a 12.
As your arrow sails through the air, it just passes by the Kenku, and it ducks a little bit and begins to caw as it cawing a war cry, if that's even a thing. Bevyn, you're up.
All right, so as this Kenku is slashed at me, I've drawn my short sword in my right hand and a dagger in my left, and I am just going to slash with my short sword in retaliation for the slashing that I got a second ago.
Nice.
And that's going to be a 16.
That is a hit.
All right, that is going to be a, let's see here. I'm going to add my domain die to this as well.
Your
Not
what?
domain die, but my
you can't use bardic inspiration for damage.
Oh, that was just for the
Yeah, sorry,
roll.
it's just for
right.
at this level. I'm not a
right.
Valor Bard.
So then that does 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. Okay.
Yep. And then I'm going to use two weapon fighting and stab at with my dagger. And that's a 22.
Oh yeah, that hits.
That is 6 points of stabby damage.
Nice. And as you bring that dagger like straight in, same thing. You almost lift this little bird fellow off the ground with just your anger, and it just plunges in deep. You hear the thing squawk a bit as it kind of like lifts up and then falls to the ground. Not dead, but very hurt. And now it's Kiara. It is your turn.
Okay, purely out of reflex, I'm going to do Sacred Flame. Do I roll for that one, or is a cantrip, or is that an automatic shoot?
It's a dex save for the target.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think it's one target, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. And I roll, well, it's a 10. I rolled a 10.
No.
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 Oh,
you're not gonna miss.
Oh, jeez.
4.
4. Okay. All right. It singes it. You have messed up its pretty feathers, and it is generally unhappy with you.
Great.
Yeah. And so now the other two Kenku have now have reached the two of you, Anna and Kiara. As you did that fire, they're kind of wary, and one kind of reaches out to try and get at you, but I don't think a 10 will hit. Yeah, so it misses. Its feathers are still smoking, so it tries to put it out. The other one is going to try to attack you, Anna. I guess a 5 is not going to hit either. So I mean, even though you kind of put the fear into it as it kind of like swipes out and doesn't really do anything. And then the other two are going to attack both you and 6 Bevyn. I got an 8. That doesn't hit you, Bevyn, Rob, right? The 8 doesn't hit.
Does not.
Does not. I didn't think so. And a 12. Does that hit you, 6?
It does not.
Son of a gun. All right, so they all miss. All right, 6.
So both of these Kenku are still alive?
They're both still alive.
Well, I'm going to do something about this. As I am going to... Yes, I'm just going to take the one that just took a swipe at me. I'm going to stab it. I would like to skewer you and put you on my barbecue. That is a 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
That is going to be for 5 points of piercing damage.
As you run it right through up to the hilt, the Kenku, kind of like looks at you like in its dying eyes, and it says, "Grab that one. He's the one. Take him to the Xanathar." And as it coughs, it just like spits out a gibbet of blood and just kind of dies on your sword. The weight of him, like kind of like you're holding him up.
Now, is the one that's been attacking engaged with Bevyn, is that also right near me?
Yep.
I would like to, as a bonus action, which I believe, because I don't have 2-weapon fighting, I don't get to add my modifiers, but I would like to take a swipe with my claws at that other one with my free hand.
Okay.
If you'll allow that.
Yeah.
So I believe because, yeah, that's a bonus offhand attack. That's no modifiers. Oh, Lord. So it's just kind of a... that's a 3.
A 3 to hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. You overestimate, and unfortunately, you miss. Oh, and look at that! There's a new domain die from Alex C.
Oh, where was that?
In the YouTube.
In the YouTube chat.
It's not showing on. Oh, that's 2. That is 2. For some reason,
That's
it wasn't
dose.
showing.
Ooh. Thank
Thank
you, Alex.
Alex, for the. Yeah, it's not showing on my other chat for some reason. So
Sorry, Alex.
good watching out. Thank you, Alex, for the 2 domain dice. We clearly are going to need them. Excellent. All right, yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, Anna. These 2 critters are still coming up on you. They have their one has dropped their bow. The other, they both have their short swords out now, ready to come in and attack you. I would say that you're probably pretty close now that you could strike out with a melee weapon. If you want to.
Yeah. Anna is going to close the distance between herself and them, and she's going to swipe at them with her rapier.
Okay, go for it.
That is a 20, not a natural.
Well, that is a hit and not a miss.
That is an upgrade from last turn.
It is true.
So that's going to be 12 points of damage.
Dang. And I mean, dang. As you kind of like reach out instinctively after the Kenku kind of swiped and missed you, you almost reach out, and it's so fast you don't even realize how fast you were. But suddenly the Kenku kind of squawks its mouth open, and you just thread the needle right through the creature's mouth and just like kind of out the back of its head, and it kind of twitches just for a moment. And as you retract your rapier, it just crumples.
I can imagine she would actually just go down with the Kenku, and she gets really close to its ear. That's for fucking trying to kill me. And she would just whisper that into its ear. It says, I hope you live a very, very long and unhappy afterlife with tons of cats and other horrible things that birds don't like.
Wow, you're making this personal. Okay. All right. You are clearly making this personal. Bevyn, as you begin to kind of wind up for your attack, you notice the one Kenku that is now being flanked by both of you is starting to back up, and it's not holding its short sword very like aggressively anymore. It's kind of throws its short sword, and you hear it squawk to the other one, and the other one kind of looks, and the other one begins to run out through up the stairs. So kind of like disengaged with you guys, begins to run up the stairs, and the other one, this one that's near you, Bevyn, begins to back up and kind of hold its hands out in front of its face.
So I'll just hold my short sword up under his throat there. Tell your friend to stop.
And it kind of like it makes a kind of a squawking, like kind of this kind of quark, and stop, you little gubbin. And the Kenku kind of stops. The other Kenku stops for a moment and just keeps, and then goes right back to running.
I'll just push the sword up against his skin. A little bit of pressure there. See if he can convince his friend.
It's looking at you. Its eye, like it's starting to squawk, and you can tell it's getting very nervous and scared. It's like the Kenku's already gone. Like you hear the doors open from the front, and
why don't you tell us what's going on here?
Try not to kill it, Bevyn.
It's hurt, but it is hurt, but it it looks at you and Zerathor sends its regards. And you hear that, and it sounds like it would be coming from like a half orc. And it tie up the pretty one. Follow the yellow signs in the sewers. No time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss.
This pretty one you're talking about. Tall fella, red hair?
Tie up the pretty one.
Why don't you tell me where your boss is then?
Follow the yellow signs in the sewers.
Right. I'm gonna just brain him with the pommel of my sword, with the intent of knocking him out.
No worries. I'm don't even have to roll for that. You get he gets a good knock on the head, and he just kind of crumbles out like a light.
Love your Kenku, Mike.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I didn't never done a Kenku before. That'd be interesting. Be an interesting thing to try, play as a character. But I digress. Anna, you're recovering. You're wiping the blood from the corner of your mouth, and you recall what had happened before these nasty little creatures had come in. And you look, and you still see this open door, and before you, it's almost like a small cubby hole. But you see two crates. I don't know what you want to do.
She would, she would begin walking back towards these crates, a little more wary now of what is around her.
The first crate is open, and you see what looks to be pictures inside, paintings. As you pull out one of these paintings, a trap springs and kills you. No, as you pull out one of these paintings, you see these beautiful vista paintings. One of them of Neverwinter, another one of Baldur's Gate. You see another one of Silver Gleam, Silvery Moon, derp, and another one of Luskin. And these are all like beautiful, beautiful paintings. And given that you've probably fenced one or two stolen items in your time, you would say, please get ready to write that these might be worth approximately 75 gold each.
I think that actually Anna would call Bevyn over, because he's the one who would be kind of involved in that in her mind. Hey, Bev, and she would show these paintings up. Look at here.
So Bevyn will take a look over. He starts rattling off names. Like, he clearly knows who painted them, when they were painted, what they're worth to the copper piece. So just rattling off numbers and names.
Yeah, and you think in total, these 4 paintings are worth about 300 gold pieces. It's only 300 gold pieces. It's all good. You play Pathfinder, suddenly you get like 300,000 platinum. It's nuts.
Are they are they framed, or is it just
they are framed? Yeah, they're framed, but they could be easily cut out, taken out, and like put into a bag or put into your.
Yeah, I think she would begin to do that. Also, she would check for behind the painting, because sometimes in between the back of the frame and the canvas, they would store valuables. Take them to
you know what? I'll tell you what. This is going to tie in beautifully to that luck thing that you got blessed with. So I'll tell you what. Roll me 2d20. Basically, roll with advantage. Nothing else. Just like roll me 2d20.
Okay.
Give me the higher number.
16.
Okay. Okay. So as you look behind each of the paintings and like kind of take them out of the frames and kind of like take the paper off, you find a note. And the note reads, it's a list of names. And each one of these names has kind of like a certain something beside it. So it could be like it almost looks like code. So like this, you know, like kind of like a this person plus this much, this person minus this much. So it seems to be kind of like a hidden ledger, perhaps, or something to that effect. You do see, though, strangely enough, at the very bottom of that note, you see what looks to be pressed in wax, a symbol. Could be a symbol of a house, but you're not entirely certain. But you see that it is a wax pressing of a serpent, and the wax is black, and the serpent looks like it's some kind of a snake, and it's got its fangs out, and like it looks like it's ready to strike. It's all in all a very imposing kind of a symbol.
She would also hand that over to Bevyn. I also found this.
Like to see if I know what that, because that sounds different than the Zentarim's logo.
Yeah.
So.
Make me a you know what, let's make me a straight int. Let's just go with int, but roll with advantage.
Thank you. Not that it helped, but that didn't help either. Well, it helps that I have 17. So I forgot I have a high intelligence. So
okay. Then tell you what, I'm going to send you a secret note, because I love secret notes, because secret notes mean secrets from each other.
While Bevyn is looking over these things, I'm just I'm doing that thing where I come up behind him, put my hand on his shoulder, just like, you know, we fought well together. Kind of thing. And as I do so, Bevyn, you would feel as I begin to purr just a little bit, you would feel sort of warmth and comfort seep into your body. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on you for, what is my spellcasting modifier? 10 points.
Nice.
I'll just kind of stand upright a little bit, and I'll look over at 6 and just nod, thankfully.
I just do that thing where, as a cat, I just turn disinterestedly away from you.
As you finish up with the paintings, you looked at the other crate and you noticed that the lid is kind of not on very well. As you look in this second crate, you see some black metal bars. As you grab them and kind of hold them in your hand, you realize now that these aren't supposed to be black, because these are trade bars. And being someone who has known about like crime and at least merchants and whatnot. Silver trade bars are for when people buy large sums of items in bulk and they can't carry the coin with them. So they will have these silver trade bars that they can trade for goods. It's a Waterdeep thing. You find 15 10-pound silver trade bars. They're black with corrosion, but you do know that they're still worth approximately 50 gold pieces each, for a grand total of 750 gold. Now, these items have no markings on them. They have nothing to discern who they belong to. They're just trade bars. So anyone can kind of scoop them. We just positively skook them. So there you go. Now y'all are rich.
Well, it seems today was something of a lucky day for us.
I would recommend you say something. That Kinko say something about sewers, which I assume is where we're going to have to go to find our red-headed friend. However, we seem to have come across a bit of a windfall, as they say. Perhaps we should, I don't know, Bevyn, do you know a place where we can, what is the word you use, fence these things? It would not be a bad idea to pad our pockets with coin.
Know a few nearby. People that'll give us right fair price for it.
I think we are going to have to split these up amongst us, though.
Anna, make me a perception check.
It's a 21.
You hear a noise. That noise is coming from under the stairwell. It seems to be from a door that, as you guys have been walking around talking, you've noticed just kind of a small little side door, just kind of like a little storage kind of area. You just hear kind of like just bumping around like someone's inside.
Yeah, immediately you can see that Anna has this crazy mess of curly red hair, and you can just see one of her half-elven ears just kind of peek out as she kind of looks. Shh. Shut up. And she would go to the door and kind of press her ear against this small door.
Yeah, and with I'm going to carry on with that awesome roll. Putting your ear up to the door, you can hear labored breathing, and you can hear kind of just like ever so slightly shifting of weight.
She looks to the rest of the people, but especially Bevyn, and she kind of makes the signal of like there's someone in there, and she holds the handle expectantly. She looks to you or to anyone.
Bevyn will pull out his short bow and knock an arrow and draw back lightly, and just keeping cover on the door, and nods to Anna to go ahead and open it.
Dix?
I draw my rapier and I move to the side of this door. Also preparing.
And Kiara?
A small flame starts developing in my hand.
All right, so you guys are all stacked up along the door, all tactical-like. Hits me right in the nostalgia, I'm not going to lie.
Me too, Mike. Me too.
Yeah.
Anna would open the door. Well, actually, she would test to see first if it was locked.
It seems to not be locked.
Okay, then she would open it very quickly so that everyone can look in.
Now, okay, so you're going to open it, but you're standing in front of the door. You're just going to open it up and stand right in front of the doorway.
No, she's got.
I mean, that's exactly that was pretty much what you sounded like. So, and that's fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. You do have a backup character, right? So as you throw open the door, you just see a dirty, disheveled. Who was once wearing nice clothes, but it's all torn and ripped and muddy. This individual cringes because even in the dim light of the warehouse, there was still a darkness in the closet. Please, I beg of you, please don't kill me. I am Renee Neverember.
The plot thickens.
And that's where we're going to end our session.
Of course.
I knew it was coming.
You did. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for this Monday night session of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Man, I love... Wait. Let's see if I can... I haven't done this in a long time, so you're going to have to bear with me. Man, I just love this group. I tell you, man, I love this group. And also, I love Locrius. And if you've never...
It's as if he were here. I looked away and I could see his blue, big-eyed face.
It's as your godly face, yeah. I miss that. And but seriously, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm having a blast running this, and these guys are so amazing to DM for. It's great. But I'm gonna shut up because I've talked enough. I'm gonna let these amazing people do all their cool outros. Oh, and also thank you again, Alex, for the 2 domain dice. That's really awesome of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You're gonna make my job harder, but that's cool.
Why don't we start with V and then I'll go last.
Okay, fair enough. I am V. I have the channel on YouTube called The Crafting Muse, and you can check it out, and you can find tutorials on how to make terrain, game accessories, and painting minis, and things like that. I'm also super active on Twitter. You can find me over there. And if you tune in tomorrow at noon on Nerdarchy, we have a pretty cool announcement to be made about D&D in a castle. So make sure you get over there and check that out. And I'm going to leave you with that one.
Dwight.
All right. I'm Dwight. You can find me here at the, let's see if I can do this here, the Twitter here on the Big Bearded Nerd. Come check me out there. I'm actually, this week I actually do have something to plug because I am in the process of launching a Twitch channel. Jake and I are working on getting that together, and I'll be starting off streaming some video games, mostly Magic the Gathering Arena and a couple other things. But eventually I'm going to start hosting some TTRPG stuff, and also going to be hosting a podcast talking about all the nerd stuff that I love to talk about. So please come check me out up here. There's a link to my Twitch channel up there. I am also giving away some dice and some magic cards as just an attempt to get some Twitter followers. So, but please come check out my Twitter. There's a pinned tweet. You can like me. Please like me. You can retweet the pinned tweet and enter to win some free stuff. But yeah, I'm having a blast. You know, I've known Jake for going on 5 years now. He got me, actually, he's the reason I play D&D, and just getting more and more involved in the community. And I really love everything about it. So it's been a blast to just kind of expand my horizons on this, and looking forward to do a little bit more. So come check me out, and thanks everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I am, when he says that I am helping him, I'm just helping him. It's his channel. I'm just helping him with some logos and kind of consulting on the setup. But I'm sure he'll drag me into it here and there. He'll probably drag all of us in there. So that'll be exciting. Another awesome channel to be a part of.
Oh, I'd totally be thrilled to be dragged into it. Sounds awesome.
Let's
what you wish for?
Let's pop up to Mike. You gotta plug yourself. You gotta plug yourself, man.
No, it's fine.
Nope, you gotta plug your stuff.
Fine. I got a YouTube channel. It's Mike Thepiper. It's probably in the description because Jake's always on that sort of stuff because he's rad.
Do check out Mike's channel. He won't plug it, but he's got a lot of great videos on accents, monsters, some great one-shots that he's run. So definitely check that out and check him out on the Twitters as well at mthepiper. Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am half of the YouTube channel and publishing company Dice on Ice, and but you can most of the time find me on here. I just am a forever lurker, and I am just like Anyway, so as was put at the beginning of this stream, I've put out a book, a setting supplement called The Ravaged Wasteland of Kryphoth, and the commercial did a fantastic job of plugging that and explaining it. So if you want to get it, then it's on Drive-Thru-RPG. And thank you, Jake, for letting me plug it and doing that really awesome intro. So I had an amazing time. It was so much fun.
Yeah, Megan, this is day 2 of the 3 game streams this week. This is stream 2 of Megan is in all 3 of them. V is in 2 of them. Mike's in 2 of them. This is Dwight's only one, but we'll change that in the future. That's the great thing about this is that we kind of mix and match. You can often find me over on Megan's channel in various, usually in creepy sci-fi horror and things like that, which is awesome because Megan is a master at the creepy horror stuff. So all right, I am of course at mtd_Jake on the Twitters, Mini Terrain Domain. We have regular gaming here on the channel 3 days a week. Sunday nights is our Cult of Personality Tomb of Annihilation stream. We just wrapped episode 29 last night. And we welcomed the other half of Dice on Ice, Connor, to the show. And then, of course, every Monday night right here at 8:30, you can find All That Glitters. And then on Thursday nights, we will be playing episode 7 of our Sunless Citadel campaign with V, Megan, DM Scotty, and Jeremy Erasmus Expeditions, who's hanging out in the YouTube chat. Plus random one-shots that pop up here and there, and you can find me on other channels. I'll actually be on Nerdarchy on Friday for their RPG Crate monthly campaign as well. Yeah, be sure to follow the channel on Twitch or YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, hit the chime button so you can be notified, hit the little heart follow icon on Twitch. Or if you have your account linked to your Amazon Prime account, you get a free subscription every month that you could use for Mini Terrain Domain and get cool little icons and emotes as part of that. Also, just launched last week is the Mini Terrain Domain Patreon. I just dropped the link in the chats. Check it out. There's a free blog post up there. Look at all the different levels of support. See how you can be a part of helping the channel to grow. I thank each and every one of you for being a part of this. Mike, I really appreciate you running this game for us and everybody else being a part of this on the channel here. Huge shout out to our audience on both platforms. Several people that have just been here since the beginning. They've been with us for the last 2.5 hours. And I love that. I love seeing the same faces in the chat every week. And I think each of us are kind of interacting when we can through the chat as well. That's a huge thing here at Mini Terrain Domain. We really genuinely appreciate our audience. And and give you just a little piece into the show with the domain dice. So we do appreciate those. Once again, shout out to you, Alex, for today's donation. So with that, we are going to end the stream the same way we end the stream every week. Say it with me if you want.
Make again.